Hey friends, today I'm making this video for anyone who is experiencing doubt or deep contemplation about their journey into the film industry, especially in these very precarious and uncertain times. And I want to offer you some words of encouragement and hopefully wisdom. And not wisdom from a place above, but experiential wisdom of I am going through these same struggles right now, and every day I am forced to learn new things, new perspectives to see my journey into the industry from. So there's obviously a spectrum of ways into the film industry um, because it's such a peculiar industry, but I view there being two poles, right? And anyone watching this probably falls along those two poles. So one of them is the relatively more traditional path, which is doing film related jobs, either working on film sets, working for film production companies, working for agencies, a lot of internship, very low pay, very very limited hours for yourself to make your own stuff. But the idea is, the goal is that eventually you'll get your name out there, you'll network a lot, you'll make enough connections to develop enough resources so one day it expedites the process of making your own film and expedites the process of getting you into conversations in the industry. So that's one pole. Now the other pole is one that I fall more under, which is the more financially driven pole, the more odd jobs approach, which is basically saying I'm going to work all these odd jobs, all these things that have nothing to do with the film industry, so that I can finance my short films and make short films whenever I get a chance. And the hope is that eventually someone will take notice to those short films, and that will be my entryway to the industry. So what I want to tell you is that both of these approaches are right, and none of them are right. Meaning it doesn't really matter which way you choose. And I'll explain why. If you have the time, I would like to offer you a quick metaphor, a quick allegory that I experienced the other day and I feel is extremely pertinent to what we're discussing here. So the other day, and this plays into the doubts that we have as filmmakers, as artists, and really any profession or industry you're in every single day. So the other day, I was having a really rough day. For various reasons, various factors building upon each other. So first, one of my older films didn't get accepted to an online platform that I was pretty sure it had a great chance of getting accepted to. Now, I've faced tons of rejection. This film has been rejected from tons of festivals, and I could live with that. But this online platform, I really made the mistake of having my sights set high on it and thinking I was a shoe-in, and it was rejected from there, right? So that's one thing. Then speaking to odd jobs, my stocks weren't doing so well. So I had a very stressful day in the stock market. So to take the steam off, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go outside and go for a run. It was extremely humid and steaming outside, but I'm like, I just gotta, blow some steam off. So I went outside and I passed my car, which was parked on my street, and I see that there's something different about it. Oh, there's a parking ticket on it. There's a parking ticket on my car, right? After all I'm in New York City, so after all these months of COVID and no tickets, one day the city just decides to give tickets. Now I know they announce it online, but they've bluffed before, right? Like they have said so many times, all right, alternate side parking's in effect this week. And I will do my due diligence of spending hours in total over many days looking for new spots. And I often see that I always would see that they don't give out tickets. And then the one day I keep my eye off the ball, they give me a ticket, right? So I have these financial losses piling up. I have these rejections piling up. It almost feels like the world's working against me. The film industry's working against me, right? The market's working against me. The NYPD is working against me. I'm sure a lot of us feel like that right now. So anyway, I go on this run. It's a very hot and humid run. I get back from the run and I get to my apartment. Now, something to know about the front door to my building is basically the lock to open it. It's very, I don't know what the word is, but it's not very efficient. It takes a while, like, to jiggle to open the lock. I'm sure a lot of people in New York City deal with something like this. So, and the tricky thing is, I'll show you right here. I have two keys to my apartment. So one's for the front door of the building and the other is for the actual apartment door. The trick is, though, they look exactly the same, right? So what happened is I come back from this run. I'm all sweaty. I'm out of breath. I have a little bit of asthma. Not all my facilities are there. You know, usually like I'm a lot sharper and I can kind of like jiggle in the keys in a much more, like, I guess, you know, finessing way. But I couldn't do that this time. My muscles were weak. So what was happening was I just kind of like got into this state of panic because I would take one key, I would go like, wouldn't work. Then I'd go to the other key and, you know, I would jiggle it and it wouldn't work. So I was kind of like driving myself crazy because I was in this place of uncertainty of I had these two keys to the door and I didn't know which one worked. Now, I'm sure, or hopefully you can see where I'm going with this now, where this metaphor connects to the film industry. It's like there are these various paths into the industry and you're oftentimes not going to know which one is for the door. Now, here's what I realized. Eventually, I just committed to one key and it opened the door. And I realized that was what the trick was. I had faith, right? Until then, I wasn't committing to either key. I would try one key for a little. It's not giving me what I want. Let's move to the next key. It's not giving me what I want. Go back to the other key. And I was going back and forth, and neither one was opening the door for me. And I feel that that's what we often do in our journey into the film industry or any industry, is operate with fear rather than faith, right? Like, we don't commit to either key. We don't commit to either path. We're sort of mercenaries for which approach will accept us, which key will open the door for us. But I think what we have to realize is it's not so much about figuring out what's the right key. It's about making the door fit your key. So I'll explain. Because basically, one key worked for my door, right? It's both approaches, both ways. Like, if you have two binaries, they're both hard to get into the industry. But some people have the key that actually fits the door. And they get into the industry much quicker than others. So, and that's what we're surrounded by every day in the media, in the news. We see all these people making it in their early 20s, in their teens. And that puts a lot of pressure on us, right? Like, if you start entering your mid to late 20s, you feel like, oh, it's not my time. It's too late for me because I'm looking at all these people who have these keys that fit into the door and turn it and open it. But I think what we need to realize is that we have the other key that doesn't fit the door right now. But eventually, if we jiggle it enough, if we screw with it enough, if we play with it enough, we are going to make the door fit our key. And I think that's what truly great artists do, because there's so many people who've made it into the industry over the years, like in the short term, very young, and then burn out, right? But the people who remain, or the people who make it later and make an impact, are the people who shape the industry, who change the industry. Same thing with stocks. I'm not going to get too much into it, but, you know, just thinking about it, the best stocks are not the ones that are going to make you money in the short term and then tank. The best ones are the ones that are long-term investments, the ones that you just put your investment in and you have faith in it. So it's the same with the film industry. It doesn't matter if you are taking film-related jobs or non-film-related jobs. Just have faith, have belief in one system. And if you believe in yourself enough, the people surrounding you will emotionally have no choice but to believe in you as well. But if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone to believe in you?